All right. Ron Goodall, FightHype.com. I'm here with one of the best boxers on planet Earth, David Benavidez. He makes his ring return, none other in Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena, Amazon pay-per-view, right? You can get used to that all the time against David Morrell, February 1st. You can watch on Amazon Prime Video pay-per-view. First and foremost, I'm gonna get straight into it. Um, there was a lot of it seemed like respect. It seemed like in Riyadh season, LA, your dad and Morrell, seemed like everything was all cool. And then, this week you came up, gave a handshake. He turned it down. I get it was a face off. You took the glasses, you took the belts. And next thing you know, he took his belt and started throwing it at you. So just wanted to get your recap on what happened.
First of all, just thank you for inviting me. I'm really grateful to be here and just happy to be here with you guys. But this fight is funny, bro, because at the end of the day, this is boxing. You know what I mean? Respect only takes you so far. But once you hear somebody saying over and over again, they're gonna beat you, they're gonna fuck you up, they're gonna knock you out, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. That kind of does something to you, especially since I'm already gonna get in there and fight him. The press conference, the first one, that's the first time it got heated up. I didn't really talk bad about David Morrell before that. I kind of give him his respect. But after the press conference, you guys didn't see that. He came up to me, he gave me a hug, he shook my hand. So I was like, oh, well, this is probably what it's going to be. We're probably just going to sell this fight. He doesn't seem like he's trying to talk shit or come disrespectful. So whatever. We left it at that. When I got into the when I got into the press conference on Tuesday or Wednesday, it was my birthday. I tried to come a little chill and I tried to shake his hand and he made me look stupid in front of everybody. So then he just kept talking shit, and that kind of really just put me into another headspace where I pushed them. And I'm at that when I do that to somebody, that means I'm ready for whatever. That all respect is out the window. But it's better because this is how this fight should be. I mean, there's no respect. We're not playing about nothing. I really want to beat the shit out of Moreau, and that's exactly what I intend on doing. But for him, I know he's 100% scared of me because he's already looking for ways out. Like, who throws belts at somebody's face? And that's a heavy ass belt, bro. For me, throwing that belt at your face, I know in my head that I'm gonna hit you, and the fucking fight is gonna get canceled because you're gonna get cut. Me, if I'm throwing a belt at somebody, you know what I mean? That's exactly what he did. He aimed at my head too. He didn't try to miss. So since from the first press conference, I knew when we did the face off. I felt this. I felt the fear in him. I sensed the fear in him. I've been doing this for a long time. And also the same thing with this one. Like I said, be careful what you ask for because I might be there to give it to you. And but at the end of the day, this just makes for a better fight. Did all that, pushed them, did the whole press conference thing, and now a lot of more people are interested in this fight, whereas they should be, because this is going to be a good fight. David Morrell's a good fighter. I'm a great fighter, and we're going to go to war. If he's really about what he says, he will stand there and go toe to toe with me. Like if he says, I don't think he's going to do that. But I'm 100% ready to go in there. I'm gonna hurt that guy as much as I possibly can.
Now, I want to dig on a topic that doesn't really get brought up too much in boxing. I know that recently Sena Agbeko kind of hinted when he fought Morrell in Minnesota that there wasn't really testing, and you brought up at that press conference that the fact that if there wasn't essentially VADA testing or testing involved, that the fight wouldn't go on. Just if you can walk me through that a little bit.
Yeah,
I know
so
I
I'm
saw.
not gonna say David Morrell is taking steroids because there's been no test of him taking steroids, but I will point out a few things. When you hear more than one person talking about steroid use, and at Betco too, he said that he got tested the whole time and Morrell did not get tested one time. That kind of raises some red flags there. For this fight, every time, when these are high profile fights, we get tested because as we should. When I fought Caleb Plant, I signed the contract 14 weeks out. We started we started fucking testing 14 weeks out. Andrade, same shit. 13, 14 weeks out, start testing. Because they wanted to test me because they said I was dirty, supposedly. Or if they thought I was doing cocaine or whatever the fuck it is. I tested, I did whatever. So then when I get this fight with David Morrell, we knew about it months before, like 4 months already. I had told them, it's not, I'm not asking stuff that hasn't been done, but when are we gonna get the test? They kept saying next week, next week, next week, next week. And so I told them, I'm like, bro, well, how the fuck are we not testing when I heard that he takes steroids and we're already on week 9, no testing. I told him, bro, I'm gonna cancel this whole fucking fight because it's kind of weird. Because how is a person that is been accused of shit is not getting tested? So then I told him, like, bro, if you guys like we're gonna cancel this fight, I don't give a fuck. And then Nevada came the next day. You know what I mean? So if you pay attention to that press conference when I was talking, when I brought up steroids and said what I just told you right now, Morrell took his glasses off, in my opinion, in a form of shock. Like, oh, he just said that. And then fucking Luis de Cuba Sr. grabs the mic, gets up, and starts yelling. And then after that, they left. That already for me, if somebody tells me I'm taking steroids, I'm speaking up right away. Like, man, fuck you. I'm not taking no steroid. What are you talking about? David Morrell didn't say shit. Luis de Cuba Sr. took the microphone away from him and he started talking for him. You know what I mean? I don't know what they were planning, or they have some sneaky shit going on, but they're not gonna fucking play that with me. You know what I mean? Now we've been getting tested every single week. But if I would have let it be, what if they would have something would have happened and then on the third week, oh now it's bad at test. You know what I mean? And this is what these people do, bro. They take steroids in week 8, week 9. They train, that shit gets flushed, and by the time they get to week 3, they bring in the testers. Oh, now it's time to test when there's no steroids in there no more. You know what I mean? So these people know what they're doing. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything about David Morrell, but that shit was a little fishy. And I wasn't asking for anything that I hadn't done myself because I've been tested more than better than anybody. I've been tested at least 30 times. So how is this their biggest fight and he doesn't have to, like, they're not doing battle? But it was just, I was not going to let them play me like that. I'm not saying that nobody's taking steroids or nothing, but that's what happened. And that's why I said what I said. And that's why fucking, it must have struck, it must have, that's why Luis de Cuba Sr. got up, started yelling. And then after that, they left. Because there's probably some truth to it. I'm not saying he was taking steroids for this camp, but maybe they're trying to do some sneaky shit. I don't know. But now that Vada's coming every week, now they're doing their job.
I know ultimately, the goal after this is to fight the undisputed for this division, better be won the first fight. They're doing a rematch. I know that, I think you said on a radio show that you're picking Bivol in the rematch, and I think you thought Bivol won. Obviously, if you had that on the plate, Canelo on the plate, we're doing the undisputed, setting Canelo on the side, right? That's the plan?
Yeah, definitely. To be honest with you, bro, I don't think that fight's ever gonna happen. Me and Canelo, which is fucking insane because that's going to be one of the biggest fights ever. Not only just for boxing, but for Mexican boxing history. That fight will be huge. But like I said, I'm 100% confident in myself that I could beat Canelo, and maybe that's why the fight's not happening. You know what I mean? Maybe he wants easier fights. Maybe he wants fights like Berlanga, Munguia, all these other people. You know what I mean? I just kind of feel bad for the people because you guys are missing out on a hell of a fight. Hell of a fight. And at the end of the day, this is what we're doing it for, right? Aren't we doing it for the people to give them the best fights? Or is it just for people filling up their pockets like Canelo is doing with all these other fighters and saying, fuck everybody, I'm not going to give you guys what you want to see. I'm going to just fight whoever I want. That's kind of whack to me.
Yeah. And I know this might I know your career is, obviously legacy defining, taking tough fights after tough fights. You just had your birthday this week. I believe you're 28, right?
Yeah, 28.
So like Tank's thinking about retiring at 30, 31. Like you're almost around that age. Do you feel like in your life at 28, do you feel like you have so much more, when you hear other guys say that they might retire for their own personal, reasons, not
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with them, the difference that they had that I didn't have to go through is that they fought so much times in amateur. Like even like I'm sure you have maybe 200 amateur fights. And at the end of the day, bro, this shit is not easy, especially if you do your job right. If you train harder than everybody, this shit's hard. And I don't think he's gonna retire. Honestly, I feel like he's gonna take a break for a year because honestly, none of us can leave this, bro. If we're leaving on top, name one fighter that left on top and didn't come back. It's just hard to do. You know what I mean? Especially since this is what you love to do and this is your job and you get paid for it. You know what I mean? I feel like Tank, he probably just needs a good break. You know what I mean? He probably needs a year and a half, 2 years. But even if he comes back in 2 years, it'll be 32. You know what I mean? So I think it's different with him. You know what I mean? I don't know I'm not gonna say he's going through anything, but maybe his body's tired. You know what I mean? Maybe he wants to take a break. As for me, I don't see no break. I don't see no retirement for me. You know what I mean? I'm barely 28 years old. I feel like I got another 10 years left in professional boxing. Well, maybe I could go for more, bro. I mean, but I don't know. Right now, it's just I have way too much that I want to accomplish before I could even think about, hanging them up. And right now, it's just been a real big blessing for me to be where I'm at, especially since I had all the odds stacked against me. And now that I'm basically in the middle of making my vision happen, I'm gonna see my vision 100% through.